Today I'll be showing you guys how to pour paint step by step. So the first thing you need to do is get a good area to pour paint on. Usually you should do it with a tarp under you and some paper towels so everything doesn't get messy. The things that you need for the pour paint materials is the number one thing you need is pour paint mix, which is a mix of glue and water. You don't usually do half water and half glue because sometimes it gets a little bit liquidy, but that's just what I prefer. I use 3/4 glue and 1/4 water, and that makes it a little more thicker, which helps it stay on to our beautiful piece of art. So we're gonna start by just pouring a little bit of each color into it and stirring it up. Then you just turn this thing upside down and you take one of the stir sticks for paint pouring. Then what you do is you have to stir it up really well so there's not chunks inside of the pour paint. Sometimes I like to just pick up this and see how much paint is on the stick to see if it's stirring up well enough. Then when I check it again and it looks pretty good, I wipe it off and set it right back in front of it. I take the next color. I do the same thing with it. And white is really important in pour paints because it provides a lot of different contrast so that you can see what it is. Because like in this, there's not really a lot of contrast because they're both kind of the same colors. But if you do a pour paint like this, the contrast is pretty good, which makes it a prettier piece. So I really like making art because it's just like putting a whole world behind you and stepping into a new one, which I really like. Okay, so now we finished all of our different colors of paint. Now the next thing that we need to do is get a big cup. It doesn't really matter what material it is, but usually all it has to be is big and it can fit different colors. So now we're ready. So we're gonna start off with the blue and never pour all of it, just pour about half. It's always pretty good. And there should be about that much left. And that much in the cup. So next we're gonna use yellow and just pour half of it in. And then do white next because that is always important for the contrast inside of it. So we're just pouring a little white in. And then the last color is this pink color. And just pour half of that in. And that looks always pretty cool inside of the cup. And we're just gonna go with the technique of kind of like just moving it around inside of it. And we're gonna start at like the corner and just move it around. Just get always in the corners mostly. In the corners, and so it doesn't leave any blank spots anywhere on the painting that you're making. When you finish kind of putting all this stuff on, you put the cup aside and you use this spray that always makes it look better, silicone. And usually the best thing to do with this is kind of put it about like that high and just squirt it on there. But this looks pretty good. So then sometimes what I like to do is I like to just get a paper towel and take some of the white off of this. And then we'll use this to kind of put it around the edges. Just barely, not go into it, just barely do a little bit of that. Just like this. So it's perfect. Just perfect pour paint. Just like that. And then because you don't want any white spaces on your pour paint, so this is always the best way to do it. But sometimes you can use a paintbrush, but sometimes you really don't. Sometimes that messes it up because sometimes it's too big and it like makes your art piece just look like you painted it. So this is kind of the best way because you can just kind of like scoop it over it. Sometimes it's good to use a blow dryer and put it over it to help the cells pop out. So I'm just gonna like put it on low and just kind of move it around. And sometimes you can do it for longer, but I didn't do it longer on this one because I love the way it turned out. And sometimes that will happen with you too. So I hope you like this painting that we made today. Make sure to comment down below if you liked it too. And make sure to hit that like button also. Thank you. Bye.